What's going on, you guys? So I'm excited to bring you a collaboration on my channel again, this time from Marco. He has a great channel known as Whiteboard Finance, and I am just super impressed with what he has going on here. He just started this channel about 1 month ago, and he now has over 1,000 subscribers. Absolutely incredible, but well-deserved. Marco is a finance major. He's an entrepreneurship minor. He's owned 3 different rental properties. He's been investing for over 12 years. He's seen bull markets and bear markets, and today he's going to be talking to us about what you should know before you invest any money in 2018 and his top 10 tips for that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you jump over to his channel and subscribe. Be one of the first subscribers before this guy hits 10,000 subscribers. It's going to happen quick based on the quality of the content that he's been posting. But let's go ahead and learn more from Marco, and I hope you guys enjoy this collaboration.
Hey everybody, it's Marco from Whiteboard Finance. Ryan, I wanted to thank you for featuring me on your channel, and I can't wait to help people understand what they need to do before they invest in 2018. This is a very valuable topic, so let's get to it. Number 1, people need to draw a financial roadmap and set goals. They need to take an honest look at their entire financial situation, especially if they've never made a financial plan before. The first step to successful investing is figuring out your goals ahead of time. Do you want to pay off all your debt before you start investing? Do you want to save up for a house before you start investing? Or maybe do you want to do all these things simultaneously? This all comes down to what you're comfortable with, and again, it's called personal finance because it's down to your personal situation. So number 1, draw a financial roadmap and set goals. Number 2, what is your risk tolerance? All investments involve some degree of risk, which I'm sure everyone watching this channel already knows. If you intend to purchase stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or real estate, it's important to understand that your investment could go down to zero and you can lose it all. Higher risk equals higher return. Investing solely in low-risk investments may not keep up with inflation, and you can actually be losing money in the long term, as opposed to high-risk investments which could shoot up 60, 70, 1,000%, but you can also lose that much as well. So it's good to have a good balance and a good mix. That way you can hedge against one another. So number 2, what is your risk tolerance? Number 3, invest only what you can afford to lose. This is kind of piggybacking off of number 2 on understanding your risk profile, but this one is pretty self-explanatory, you guys. Do not invest in what you cannot afford to lose. It's as simple as that. If you have a family, if you have people that are dependent on you financially, you can only allocate what you're willing to lose in investments. You should not allocate things that are responsible for taking care of those loved ones. So again, invest only what you can afford to lose. Number 4, have an appropriate mix of investments. So you need to figure out what investment profile is right for you. Whether it's stocks, bonds, real estate, cash, or even cryptocurrency, you need to find the right mix to use them as a hedge against one another. So again, if cryptocurrency is skyrocketing and your real estate investment is tanking, those two will be balancing each other out, hopefully in the positive. You can also consider investing in something called a life cycle fund, which is naturally more risky as you're younger, and it gets more conservative as you get older. So an example of a life cycle fund is, say for example, a target retirement fund. So you pick a certain year in which you think that you're going to retire. Let's call it 2055 or 2060 in the future. When you're younger, this invests in more risky growth stocks, and as you get older, it becomes more conservative in nature, allocating more of your funds towards bonds and more conservative investments. So you're not making as high of a return, but your money is considered to be safer and a less risky investment. So check out a life cycle fund if you haven't done that already. Number 5, if you do decide to go the stock market route and invest in equities and stocks, you need to know how much of your portfolio should be in stocks. So a typical rule of thumb is that you take your age and subtract it from 110 to find the percentage of your portfolio which should be allocated towards individual stocks or equities in general. This can be adjusted up and down for your appetite of risk, but this is a pretty good rule of thumb when you're figuring out how much of your portfolio should be in stocks alone. Number 6, how many different stocks should you buy? So if you decide to go the individual stock investing route, I recommend that you have no less than 15 different stocks across different industries. Again, this is diversifying your portfolio and hedging against one another in case some different industries accelerate in growth or actually lose money. This may not be practical to actually have this many individual stocks, so I highly advise that you guys look into an ETF or an index fund if you haven't heard of that already. Number 7, the all-important question: how much return can you expect in 2018? So let's talk about this 9-year bull market that we've been in for a little over 9 years now. People have been getting crazy returns, 50%, 100%. Some people are investing in crypto and they're getting thousands of percent. You have to realize that these results are not typical. I've been investing since I was 18 years old, and that's been for 12 years now. So I remember 2007 and 2008 where people were losing 40, 50, 60% of their portfolio. Normally the market returns 9 to 12% historically, so you need to adjust your expectations going into 2018 because a lot of people keep talking about a correction. So keep that in mind, but if you're killing it in crypto, if you're killing it in certain stocks, by all means, please keep making your money and don't let me deter you. Number 8, only buy what you know. So if I can't clearly explain what a company does in 1 or 2 sentences, I won't invest in it. I don't want to be in over my head investing in some crazy biotech pharmacy company whose success is hinging on a certain application or patent or thing like that. It's important to only invest in businesses that are easy for you to understand, especially while you're just starting out. You must understand that company as if you were the CEO, and if you can't give a quick elevator pitch about what the company does, I personally wouldn't invest in it, and that's just my philosophy. Number 9, watch out for red flags. So these red flags are companies that don't earn any profits. A lot of tech companies fall into this category, so those you need to dig deeper and do more due diligence. Also be cognizant of stocks whose share prices are always going down. You need to look at the 3 and 5 year charts for long-term growth or actually long-term losses in terms of share price. Number 3, companies that are under investigation. So a lot of companies get sued here and there. I'm not talking about litigious lawsuits or things like that. I'm talking about under investigation for insider trading or things that are major deterrents to the health of a company. Number 4, companies with lots of debt. So I know a lot of companies want to grow, so they either take on debt or they start reinvesting all their profits back into the company, which is fine, but you need to be cognizant of the level of debt that each company has that you may be interested in investing in. Number 5, stocks with recent dividend cuts or an unstable dividend history. This shows that the company is doing an okay, maybe even a poor job at managing their money, which means their dividend is always changing, going up and down, rather than consistently increasing year over year. So keep that in mind, you guys. Number 10, rookie mistakes to avoid. So keep in mind, this is for all the beginners and the rookies out there. These are 3 things that I necessarily wouldn't recommend you do when you're just starting out in investing. Avoid buying penny stocks. So this is any stock that's under $5 a share that's either traded on over-the-counter, which is OTC market, and it doesn't trade on a regular exchange like NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but as a beginner, I wouldn't recommend going this route. Number 2 is buying stocks on rumors. So when you're at the rec center and you're in the locker room, you just got done taking a shower and you overhear the old guys in the corner talking about the next big stock, or, oh, my buddy works at XYZ company and they got big things planned for 2018. Don't listen to rumors. You need to do your own due diligence. This is one of the easiest ways to fall into the fear of missing out and feel like you're missing out on the next big thing. But really, you just need to be able to do your own due diligence and come up with your own thoughts. You need to be mature when it comes to investing. Number 3, finally, is using margin. So there's some valid reasons to use borrowed money, which is margin. But in this case, if you're just beginning, I wouldn't dig yourself in a bigger hole than it really needs to be. You need to learn from your profits and from your losses. And I actually think the best teacher is sometimes getting burned in the market. However, if you're using margin, that means you're leveraged, which means you're going to lose way more than you would lose just by using your own principal. You can also make more and make a lot, but it all depends on your appetite for risk. If you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend trading on margin to start with. And that's all I got for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Those are my 10 tips for people who are either new or who are considering investing in 2018. those are 10 things that you should know and just keep aware of. Again, those are just my opinions. If you've already been successful in the market, by all means, keep doing what you're doing. So for all the beginners out there, go over this list very quickly. Make sure you're checking all those boxes, and best of luck to you. Investing is one of the best things you can do for you and your family's financial future, and it's also a good way to provide a solid base into your older years. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you having me on your channel, Ryan. Thank you.